In this lecture, we will go over modifying the village settings. So back to Unity, we are in the village editor and here are the village settings. Now, some of them are very obvious, such as the size of the city. The bigger the size, the bigger your city will be. Now, be aware that the bigger your city is, the longer it will take to generate, and it might not be very good for mobile platforms such as iPhones and Android phones because it will take more resources. So make sure you test the games before changing the size of the city. But just for the sake of learning, I'm going to put a way bigger size and then click on generate and build. And you will see that now we have a way bigger city that's all the way in the back there. All right. So as you can see, each city have a way bigger size. And by the way, feel free to change not just the size of the city, but where things will be in your city. Now, how do you change that? Well, click on clear first. And first of all, let me just clear this up. So sometimes there's leftovers from the terrain before and they keep adding. So one way to clear this up is to, inside of the scene, click on town, go back to the terrain editor and click on generate again for the terrain. And this will clean up these pieces that are added as we go. And that's bound to happen if you keep modifying it. All right, cool. So now it's cleaned up. Now going back to the village editor, the next step is to actually change different roads. How do you generate different roads? Well, you have to change the seed. Right now, if the seed is 74, I click on generate, and we will see this type of looking roads. Now, if I change the seed to, let's say, 256 and click on generate, the roads are changing. So feel free to play with that to get the exact same land that you'd like. All right. So here is another seed. Okay, so this will do. Now, if I change the size of the city, you will see that by clicking on generate, this will change the look of this. Since the city size is smaller, there's more room to create more cities. So obviously, if you make it even smaller, you will be able to generate even more small cities. Now, it might be a bit too small, so feel free to take a size that you like and then click on build, and you will see a bunch of different cities or city blocks. Depends on how you see it. All right, the next settings that I want you to understand is the organicity. So right now, let's put the size of the city to 200 and click on generate and build, because I want you to see that here there's like a few blocks and the cities are a bit cramped on each other. Now, if you make it more organic, it's going to be smoother. All right, so click on generate and then build, and you will see that the size will be a lot smoother. Check this out. Look at that. Now it's going to be more as a packs of cities. Okay, so they are like separate cities within the city. And if you don't want that to happen, you can just put it all the way down and click on generate and build. And check this out. So I think it's too low. So let me generate another time. There we go. And now it will be a lot more organic or less cramped. Okay, so the more you increase that, the more cramped your cities will look. Okay, so the more dense your city will be. Okay, again, so the density of the city will happen with the organicity. Okay, so that's something you have to remember. Cool. Now you can have the uniformization. That was a tough word to say. Uniformization, and the bigger, the more uniform your city will look. So the more squarish looking they will be. All right. So click on generate, and you will see that they will all look more similar. That's what the uniformization is about. And then you can have different levels of how high the cities will be, and that will use the mountains. So the higher, the more it will go over the mountains. As you can see, now it's going all the way to the mountains, and before it wasn't touching it. All right. Then you can make it a deeper length or not, and add more or remove the fields. Now these fields will be removed if you put the fields to 0. But before, let me clean up the terrain. Town, terrain editor, again, generate to clean this up. All right, it's going to clean everything. Give it a second or so. Okay, so obviously the more you change, the more it's going to change. All right, here we go. Now, sometimes, as you can see, there are some leftovers, and here there's a leftover, and you can actually see them here. All these cities are leftovers. Sometimes it doesn't clean up well. Not a problem. You can select them all, and then right click and delete. That will remove them all. All right. Now this city has a lot of trees and I don't want that many trees. So what I'm going to do is change the tree settings to a smaller density and click on add trees, and that will take care of that. All right, cool. Now going back to the village editor, here it is. My next step is to remove all the fields and click on generate. And you will see that now it's only going to be villages. So there's a bunch of villages. And if you want less villages, you have to increase the number of fields. If you put it to 5, you have more fields with cows and sheep and so on. All right, so that's how you make the difference. As you can see now, I have lots of fields. So that's the density of the fields. All right, so that's pretty much everything you need to know for the village settings. Feel free to play with them. It's amazing the number of different cities you can make in no time. As you can see, I just did in front of your eyes. Have fun!